Thank you, Mr. President. Amendment 1A simply corrects a technical feature found in Amendment 1. If you'll join me on line 39, federal government can assign, of course, employee eligibility verification system user numbers, but they do so to employers as opposed to persons, which is found in line 39. So this simply clarifies that particular word and corrects it. Now, I want to say one other thing before I leave the well. I want to thank the senator from the 30th who has put an incredible amount of work into this. I want to thank the senator from the 27th who also put an enormous amount of work in this. And I want to thank Representative Ramsey from the House. As someone who went through this process 5 years ago, I understand what he has taken on, and it's probably something a little different than just about any other legislator unless you've engaged on this issue. When you delve into this area, and perhaps you've noticed I really don't do it any longer, you're going to be called names that you never thought you'd be called. You're going to be accused of things you never thought you'd be accused of. I'll never forget one time at Kennesaw State University talking about this issue, and someone, of course, who doesn't think much past their nose accused me of hating children because I was dealing with illegal immigration. I said, well, that's funny. I got 4 of them. You'd have thought if I hated him, I'd stop after number 1. But those are the type of things that are thrown out. And then, of course, you have safety issues that you have to deal with, personal safety issues, and I know he's had to deal with that. And so I wanted to publicly state my thank you to a senator and senators and a representative who would take on an issue of this type of importance and go through what you have to go through to deal with this issue in the way that he's done it. He has worked with everybody that has come to him, and he deserves a lot of credit for working on that. And I want to correct 2 things that were said from this well earlier. It was suggested in some way that the United States is somehow, because of legislation like this, anti-immigrant, which on its face is silly, but it's also factually incorrect, because the United States allows more people to immigrate into our nation than any other nation on earth. Any other nation on earth. We have nothing to apologize for. The fact that we have a process that we ask you to go through is not any different than any other country, and yet we allow more people into this country every year than any nation on earth. And then the second thing that is often in this debate somewhat confusing is that people tend to take the words illegal alien and then take ethnicities or nations of origin and use those back and forth as if they were the same thing. Lawful status is lawful status. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It's lawful status. And in fact, if you look at the numbers, you'll find a large percentage of the people that are unlawfully in the United States are not from Latin American countries. They're not from other North American countries. They're actually from all over the world. So if you're going to talk about this issue, and we seem to be talking about it a lot, let's at least agree on the things that are factual and not use these inflammatory terms like hate and certain ethnicities and certain nation of origins as if they can encompass the entire universe of people that happen to be in our country unlawfully. So with that, Mr. President, if there are no questions, I yield the well.
There are no questions.